Well, well, well. And just like that, series finale. And it literally ended with a toilet bowl of crap. Seriously. My girl wants to party all the time, party all the time, party all the time. It's over. They gave us crap to the actual people who are watching it. I can't call them fans because I don't know who's a fan. I know that a majority of us watched to see what was going to be delivered to us. And true to form, to Michael Patrick King, he gave us crap to end the crap of Just Like Crap. And with no care in the world, no successful epilogue to let us know what would happen in the future, just minutia, crap, no love. I would say that's the prologue, but I'm actually going to give you another prologue. Okay. So I want to get into this now because I don't want to do it at the end. Number one, it's 3:30 in the morning and I'm recording. So I am a little tired. I did get my MRI results. I have 4 herniated discs. That was a pretty shocking thing to find out. I have to go to a neurosurgeon, I think, and just get to understand what's next. I don't think it's going to be surgery yet. I don't know how I'm walking. I am nothing but a strong person. But I just wanted to give you guys an update for those who've been following me, and I did get my results. I didn't want to record this yesterday on Friday because I was extremely emotional about it. So I was looking at the show and I started to cry in places that I'm like, what in the hell are you crying about? Oh yeah, because you have your own problems. Because you're on your own. Oh my God, this show. So if I do well up on something that I mentioned, trust me, it's not because of the show. It's just heavy medication. Let's go with that. Sure. Okay. So I'm going to combine both part 1 and part 2 in this video because I am too tired to edit and I'm not going to put too many clips because it's the end. Hence the party. My girl wants to party all the time, party all the time, I'm moving as much as I can, people. It's for the love of you. Okay. Now that the prologue and update is gone, let's do the quick honorable mentions. There's not that many. Anthony has 2 quick scenes. Anthony, apparently, Carrie is delivering her pies from her ordering of her Pie Palooza last weekend or last episode. So she shows up at Anthony's house. He has canceled the Thanksgiving with Miranda. More on that. And she's delivering him one of the pies that she ordered, and he is beginning to tell Miranda, I apologize for not coming because I want to tell, Bread Boy about how I feel about him, wanting to marry me to be a mommy. And as he's trying to explain this to her, of course, Carrie is like, hey, great. Cab is running. Okay, great. Closed door. The next scene we have with Anthony is that he is with Bread Boy in their very, very they really need to do something with that kitchen. Though, will we ever find out? Of course not. That kitchen looks really, really bad. There's something not right about it. I not for what he's supposed to be doing and what he has, but I'm not going to get there. That's because it's the end. It's the end of an era. Bread Boy says, so you think that I asked you to marry me after all this time because I want you to be my mommy? And Anthony confirms yes. And because Bread Boy has decided that he cannot translate what he feels in his language, in English, he takes the pie that Carrie gave him and throws it into Anthony's face. I say that's quite daring, to be honest with you. And Anthony says, I'm not going to clean this up. And all of a sudden they kiss and that's it. Do we find out what happens to the wedding? Of course not. Do we know what happens with Bread Boy and the mom Maleficent? No. Is there a successful ending? Of course not. Do we have to project what's going to happen in the future? Apparently, that's what Michael Patrick King has said. More on that in the epilogue. So we just have to pretend that Mommy the Maleficent has not cut off Bread Boy or has cut him off. And Anthony is going to have yet another wedding, though I still don't remember him getting divorced from Stanford. And that's it. That was honorable mention number 1. Literally, if he had 3 minutes of screen time in the series finale, it was a lot. Let's get into honorable mention number 2, LTW. Stay tuned. LTW. First scene we have with her is that she's in her editing room editing the 1,000-Year Journey biography that she has never finished with Mary and the Married. And they're talking, watching a video that apparently the reason why she had flown off to Washington, D.C. the week or the episode before is because she was interviewing this woman who is a bridal fashionista. And the bridal fashionista is talking about an actual historical person, Anne Lowe, and the fact that she was the dressmaker of Jacqueline Kennedy's wedding dress. You can look it up in everywhere. It's a true story. I thought that she would be the direct descendant of her, but no, she's just talking about her because she's in the same field of wedding dresses. Great. Beautiful. So then a call comes in. Well, first of all, I want to say a call comes in from the person that's supposed to bring in Michelle Obama, whom we've been waiting to know if she was going to be in this show at all, because they've only name dropped her 8 times. And the woman says to her on the phone that Michelle feels that she's too famous to be an unsung, which is what LTW has been saying. Great writing. And but she would be willing to look at the uncut version, and she might narrate the series. Might. Keyword. So both Mary and the Married and LTW start jumping up for joy. They start hugging each other. It's like they almost want to have each other's babies. And everything is on a contingency of might. I just want to clarify that. She might be on the show. She might do first of all, she might not even finish this book. Let's start with that. Oh, I'm sorry. Video. Whatever the hell it is. At the end of the day, it's not done. So Mary the Married says, let's go out to dinner and celebrate. Something crawled up LTW's brain and said, no, we can't. We can't do any of this. Oh, well, because my mother-in-law is coming. And then he says, well, we can go out for drinks. And she's like, well, yes, we have time for drinks, but we can't do that because we need to keep everything contained here in this room. We cannot go out. We cannot be seen out. We can't do anything out in the out world. And Mary the Married kind of, I think, agrees that whatever, because she says, whatever this is, we need to reel this in. I still don't know what it is because I'm still wondering when is she going to finish her video. So that's all I give a shit about. Mary the Married says, yes, you're right. I don't want to ruin this. We're both married. And she goes, okay, we need to focus on work. Great. Next scene you have, mind you, I want to make this clear. The woman that she was interviewing in DC didn't want to sign the release form until she, LTW, agreed to bring her fashionista friends to her wedding dress fashion show. I say this because this is the next scene, which I found interesting. The next thing you have with LTW, she's walking with Seema, who's all of a sudden popped up, with Charlotte, and with Carrie. And I'm presuming that Miranda is not considered one of the group and one of the fashionistas friends. Or it could be that because of the screen time and widescreen, only 4 people can be on it, because I found it very interesting that Miranda was nowhere around. And I found it even more interesting that LTW was even with these people. So they're walking to the wedding, and I don't remember what they were talking about. I just couldn't get over the ensemble that everybody was wearing. I was like, I'm done. I'm not even going to listen to this. I think Seema's complaining about something. Charlotte's always complaining. And of course, if it's not about Carrie, I block it out. So they're sitting in the fashion wedding bridal show, and they broke off in pairs, like, Noah's Ark, obviously. And we're not going to focus on what happened with Seema and with Carrie until I get to the Seema drama. We have LTW with Charlotte, and LTW is complaining to Charlotte that, marriage is difficult, and Herbert is being depressed and he doesn't want to go to work. I mean, my God, leave this poor man alone. How many times in your life are you going to be depressed about a fake invisible campaign that never really happened? I mean, give a man some space. I mean, he has the right to be depressed over nothing that never really happened in his invisible campaign with his invisible ballots. I mean, listen, we're still mourning this entire show. Leave it be. So she's talking to Charlotte about it's always about them. Well, yeah, it's always about your partner. I'm sure that he's been listening to you talk about this 1,000-year journey video for the last 1,000 years. So you can't suck it up. And that she was just, and so did also, what's her name? Charlotte. Oh, and don't forget, it's also about the cancer, because every couple gets cancer. Okay, this show is a cancer. I'm sorry. As they're blabbling their mouths off, one of the things that LTW says is that to Charlotte, if you knew what you knew now, would you get married again? And Charlotte says, absolutely. And then LTW says, me too. Then what the hell have we been listening to? You just rambling your mouth off? Well, I'm sorry, not you, but the script writers, they're so stupid. I'm so sick of these people. It's over. Thank God. The next thing we have at LTW is she goes home in whatever this is. The fashion? I'm so not going to miss it. Oh my God. So she's back with her Project Runway contestant reject outfit, and she goes to her husband who's in bed, and he says, how was your wedding thing? She asks him for his hand, and she recites her wedding vows, and he just looks at her and goes, oh, thank you. I'm going to get over this. And they hug it out. Okay. The last scene you have with them is during the ending of the show almost, and LTW apparently cooked Thanksgiving dinner, though we don't see any of her children, any of her family, none of the sitting, not even her mother-in-law. I guess they couldn't afford it. But I can tell you this much. I was just so fixed on that stunning view from their freaking apartment. That Central Park view. That's all I can think about in this scene. I don't know if it's fake or not. It probably is, but I know apartments that really do look like that. I was like, wow. He tells LTW, don't worry about this. I'll clean it up, that you were cooking, and that he was saying that the best part of not being in the public eye anymore, he can eat. I guess he's going to get his 20 pounds back. LTW is like, thank you. And you got this mess. And that's it. Do we see the ending of the book, of the biography? Of course not. Do we know what happens with Obama and narrating the biography? No. Does anything happen with marrying the married? No, because they're going to work it out at work. Only at work. Because it's all about work. And does Herbert get over his, problem with his invisible campaign and he's over depressed now? Well, no, now he's probably going to gain a lot of weight back because he's so happy. Do we ever find out anything about their kids? Couldn't tell you. Is the mother-in-law finally going to, kill LTW? Maybe. Did we ever find the hamster? I don't know. All questions that have been left open for our imagination to think of from the graces of Michael Patrick King and his stellar writing. But more on that in my epilogue. Okay? Next up, Who do we have left? Oh, Seema. That's the next honorable mention. Listen, when you get a chance, subscribe for all of this, but none of that. Because it's over. But there's more to come. And yes, I'm not medicated yet. So subscribe. Stay tuned. LTW. Oh, sorry. We killed her. Seema. Oh, Seema. Seema. I don't know why I want to sing her name. Seema. Her first scene is with Adam the armpit digger. She's in her bathroom, and we have to look at Adam's buttocks again as he comes into the bathroom. And, you know, they are talking about the fact that her business is doing better. So we're just never going to see that. We just have to pretend that all those empty chairs that she had in her office were miraculously filled at some point and she's going to be rich again at the Patel group that we don't know anything about other than 3 short storylines. So she tells Adam that she has to go off tomorrow to be at the Fashionista bridal fashion show, and that he thinks it's a waste of time as we have to hear him peeing, because that's always sexy on television. I guess he didn't fart. I guess we can be grateful for that. But then the rest of the show happens. So no, I guess we kind of like led into the peeing, into the crap that happens afterwards. And I mean crap legitimately. So he says that weddings are a waste of time, and Seema is in shock, and that that's it. So then she saunters out of the bathroom. The next scene we have is with these 4 again, and they are going to the bridal fashion show. And now this time, the Noah Ark pairing between, the crazy 2 and the other crazy 2. Now we can focus on what's happening with Seema when she's conversing with Carrie. So Seema is telling Carrie that she's shocked that Adam doesn't want to ever get married, and that she's in love with a guy who may not ever want to get married, and that she's complaining that maybe she was just programmed because she always believed since she was a little girl that she would have a wedding, and that maybe right now at her age, maybe it was just a programming thing, and blah, 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 and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And I don't know how this has all happened within 3 episodes of her getting with him, and now she wants to marry him, and there was no time to breathe. No buildup of this relationship. We just got it all in less than 10 episodes. Less than 3. She didn't want him. Then she wanted him. Then she got him. And now she loves him. And now she's upset that he doesn't want to ever get married. Okay. Great. Writing. Mm-hmm. Dear God. So she asked Carrie, you got married, did she? Are we bringing Big back? Is Big in a Box coming back? Because we're acknowledging that she was married. To who? We're not sure. Because remember, she had 22 years with Aiden. Mm-hmm. And she asked her, why did you want to get married? And I would think that a normal human being would say, because I was in love. I was in love with Mr. Big. Because I got asked to be married by Aiden, who I screwed that up, but I was in love with Mr. Big. No, because she felt that she was chosen. Pausing for dramatical effects, so that let that sink in. So, what, she didn't feel chosen by Aiden? She's chosen a lot of men in her life, in and out. I'm rewatching Sex and the City. So that was her answer, which then she says, do you really need to get married? And I guess that was her way of helping Seema get over the fact that she may never get married. Mm-hmm. Well, that ends that. the next scene we have is ironically with Carrie and Adam, who, by the way, is still working in her garden. And may I just say that if this is Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, I have no idea what part of New York they're living in, on the planet Mars. I'm going to say this throughout most of the scenes with Carrie. We're in New York in November on Thanksgiving. It's cold. Why is she dressed like in a summer frock? And I mean literally a frock. Why is Adam acting as if it's not cold outside? The hottest November in record in New York City was in 1950. Is it the 50s again? Because that's what I feel like I'm looking at right now. What the hell's going on? This is the one time that I have to give it to the writers and Carrie. She actually confronts Adam about his feelings about not getting married. And is Seema just another Thursday? Because he's out there Thursday morning on Thanksgiving, and in his mind it's just another Thursday. And he says, no, she's not another Thursday. I don't know what the hell he says, but I'm giving it to Carrie to have at least more than a 4-minute conversation with another human being that doesn't have to directly relate to her problems. I actually have to applaud her. She actually went out there and spoke to someone about someone else, and that was it. Next scene we have is Carrie still delivering her pie palooza. She bumps into, she meets Seema in the street. Seema's in a cab. Carrie's in a cab. She gives her the vegan pie that she's taking to Adam's family. And she's wearing jeans and a wool hat while Carrie is wearing a Christmas outfit, a Christmas ornament in November in New York with heels because it's not cold in her world. Then she tells Seema, hey, you're wearing jeans, and that's it. That's the last, thing we see with the both of them. And we see her in jeans. I guess it's something not in brown, so they couldn't really show us everything. The last scene we have is that she is with Adam and family. Do we get to know the family, introduce them? No, we just see random people in a screen. And she tells Adam, hey, I don't really miss the gluten, which means that she was eating the pie. And what does that metaphorically mean? Couldn't tell you. That she doesn't miss the fact that she'll never get married, that she missed the fact that she won't be, I don't know, Mrs. Armpit Digger. I couldn't tell you, because that's literally the only thing we get. I guess she's just going to settle for a guy who's never going to get married, and that's all we get, because this is one of these open-ended stories that we don't know about until never. And all the fans are happy about the way that this is ending, said no one ever. That's Seema. Great. The show is hard. It's been hard the whole time, and not in a good way. Okay. I think we got all the honorable mentions out of the way. Next up are the 3 ding-dongs. I'm going to do Charlotte, because Miranda stepped up from number 3 to number 2, because she stepped up the crap. And then we're going to do Carrie. I can't tell you how much pain I'm in, just moving. But I am getting better in my own New York state of mind, because I'm a toughie. I am not going to give up. This back crap is not going to listen, I've been dealing with this for 7 months. It's not going to go anywhere until I figure out what's going to happen. So I'm going to have to suck it up. Like I had to suck up this show. Okay, listen, stay tuned. Ding dong. Number 3. Charlotte. Charlotte has some intertwining scenes with Carrie, which we'll get into when we get into Ding Dong Superstar number 1, Carrie. So we're going to keep this one short. This is not one of the first scenes, let's go over the fact that one of the first scenes we see with Charlotte is when she's with the faux bridal fashionista party, which is comprised of LTW, Seema, Carrie, and her conversation with LTW about marriage and about how difficult it is and blah, 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 blah. And I will get married again, of course. Great. Beautiful. Move on. So the real first scene we have with with Charlotte and her family, she's basting her turkey. Harry comes in and says, hey, check it out. I have a heart on. I am actually roasting and ready to be basted. Something like that. And she's like, oh my God, how? Why? Yeah. And he's like, I don't care. Let's not waste this. So he whisks her past, hey, look, Lily's here. We don't know what happens to her. She's just there with no storyline after her polyamorous relationship went kapoof. So they run into the bedroom to have sex, and Lily is smiling. And then the next scene we have is that Carrie is dropping off one of the pies from her pie palooza, and she opens the door, being Lily, and tells Carrie that Carrie wants to pick up the infamous or famous stuffing, which I have got to get the recipe for because it sounded actually delicious. I know it was with oysters, and that's it. So I just wanted to see if I can find it. I will see if I could try it for myself first. And she tells her that she will not be able to pick up her famous stuffing because her parents are in the bedroom, and that's it. And then Carrie picks up on the fact that, hey, they're in the bedroom. Great. She walks away. The last scene we have with Charlotte, not the last scene ever, but at least for that group, because remember, she's part of the Carrie Chronicles, is that they have finished the Thanksgiving dinner, at least the families together. We get to see the kids. I guess they had the money in the budget for that. And Rock is asking Charlotte, can I see the pictures that you took of me when I was in, the play last episode? And Charlotte says, hey, I deleted them because I thought you might be offended. And Lily steps up and say, hey, I got a bunch of pictures of you. And Rock tells the family, listen, this was just a person I was playing, and I'm going to be many different people in my lifetime. Now, that sounds a little bit like multiple personality disorder. That's how I took it. But I'm cynical. So, I don't know what that means. And then they all gathered around and they were looking at the pictures on Lily's phone, and everybody's like, oh yeah, that's great. And that's it. That's Charlotte's entire storyline. So Rock is going to be multiple personalities throughout her lifetime. Lily had no storyline, so we don't know what's going to happen to her. Harry finally got his heart on, and they had sex again. And Charlotte is without vertigo, with her family, during Thanksgiving, with absolutely no other storyline other than this. I don't know if you've all noticed my background. Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies, tell me lies. The walls have come down, and now it's just straight up telling you to your face. Because this is the last episode of this freaking thing. So they say. So you can lie all you want, but this was not a finale for a series. For real. Okay. Next up. Oh my God, Miranda. Ding dong number 2. And the crap that ensued. Which, by the way, I will not be showing. And I barely will touch it because I was so sick and I wanted to throw up when I watched it. So I guess Charlotte is who she is, and we're going to wrap that up in a little bow. Thank you, Michael Patrick King. Hey, take Miranda. First scene we have with Miranda Ding Dong number 2 is that she's in a restaurant with Steve, you know, the father of her child, Ronald McDonald. And she does ask him, why is he sure if he doesn't want to come to Thanksgiving dinner, which I found very ironic that he didn't go. And they're talking about the fact that Miranda thinks that Mia, the baby mama, is an idiot. And Steve is a little concerned. And he says that he tells her that I'm not going to go to the Thanksgiving because that's the last thing you need, which by the way is not, because your son is cooking. He's bringing the mother of your baby, your grandchild, and as a family unit, which I go back to what happened to them as a family unit. I understand that she's gay. I understand that she's not going back with him, but you're still parents. And the fact that he's interrogating her about who is this Mia chick and that he has no plans to not allow them to be part of their grandchild's life. Wouldn't one of the most important things is that you are at this Thanksgiving dinner to make a presence to meet this woman? Why are you asking Miranda? Get your stupid ass up and go suck it up and go to the Thanksgiving. Especially when he tells her that he's going to call Brady to apologize for going off on him. What? Does anybody else understand what I'm trying to say here? Your bipolar ex-wife, which is what he pretty much told her, because Mia said that she infiltrated her salon and her aura, and Brady told her that she's bipolar, which is why I'm making the reference of this, has invited the mother of your grandchild, and you want to know more about her, but yet you don't want to go to the Thanksgiving. I'm sorry, is that because so many other people are on the show and we needed to give thanks to and money to them? I guess. So then the last thing he asks Miranda is she pretty? And Miranda's like, what does that matter? Because he's a man. What? Right, he can't ask that? He asked if she was an idiot. It's like she just completely forgot that Steve is a guy. Of course he's going to ask that question. Still has a penis. So the next scene we have is with I'm going to go that she's with the Thanksgiving soiree that she's having. Carrie shows up. She's the last stop on her Pie Palooza tour. And she opens the door and she finds, what's her name? Ding Dong number 2, Miranda, tells Ding Dong number 1, Carrie, that she's upset because Joy called and that she's not going to show up because one of her dogs is sick. And she interprets that as Joy not wanting to come because of the issue that they had with the argument with Ronald McDonald Brady last episode. And Carrie, which ironically, I'll give it to her again, I don't know how the writers stuck this in and gave her some growth in the last very series finale, tells her, hey, why don't you call Joy and find out what's really going on instead of just, making shit up in your head, which is the entire storyline of this entire series, of their entire lives, always misinterpreting things. But she gives her some advice. So then Miranda goes off to, guys, I'm a little tired and the medications are kicking in. So if I stop and I try to remember names, it's not because I'm crazy. It's because it's now 4:30 in the morning and I'm still recording. So please forgive me. It's not as fluid as I like it to be, but I'm not re-recording because I'm not doing it. Because if they didn't want to re-record, you're going to have to stay with what I have. Okay, now that we got all the niceties out of the way, listen. Miranda agrees to call Joy. Brady, Ronald McDonald, and Carrie, Ding Dong number 1, are in the kitchen talking of whatever the fuck they're talking about, excuse my language. And all of a sudden we see Miranda putting on her coat. Well, at least she has a coat. It's now November. And she tells the 2 crazy people in the kitchen that she is going to run off to meet with Joy at the veterinarian hospital because obviously one of her dogs were actually sick, that the dog ate a sharp object, and both of them look at her like, what do you mean you're leaving? She goes, I'll be back in about an hour. I just didn't want Joy to actually sit there alone. Okay. Now I give, credence to that because I am a pet lover. I've had cats, and my last dog was a beautiful golden retriever. Oh my God, my baby. Ooh. See, that one made me cry a little bit because I remember that, but that's neither here or there. So they both look at her. She runs out. She ends up going to the hospital and seeing Joy there. And Joy is ranting and crying about the fact that I can't remember which dog it was because they all look the same to me. And she says that he must have picked up a Lego in the dog park, and that she tells her, this is why I don't want to have kids. Okay. No trauma there. It's not normal. I'm sorry. I mean, it's okay if you don't want to have kids, but not because your dog is going to pick up a Lego. Okay? Then she proceeds to comfort her and hold her. And the next scene we have is going back to her apartment. And I kind of don't want to go through the rest of this because this kind of intertwines a little bit with Carrie. But I'm going to leave it at this because I'm going to explain what's happening at this Thanksgiving dinner when I get into Carrie. Oh my God. I'm visualizing how I'm going to put this. There's people at this party that will need their own rendition of what I'm going to say. Okay. The only thing I can tell you is that at the end, Joy does show up at the party after everyone has left except for Carrie. And Miranda is so touched, and the fact that she showed up, and though her dog is sleeping, so she figured she'd stop by, and she felt that because Miranda stopped by for her during her party, she felt it'd be nice to stop by for her as well. And Miranda starts to cry, and I guess they're bonded. And then the last scene we have is that they're eating one of the pies, and you can't really hear what they're talking about. So I guess whatever fear Joy had about being in a relationship or being with family or having whatever the hell was in that luggage that she brought to the second bedroom of Miranda, it's now resolved. So do we know what happens after this? No, of course not. Does the writers care to give us any other true understanding of what's going to happen with Miranda and her family, and the fact that she's going to have a grandbaby? Do we know what boy, girl? No, of course not. We just know that at some point, Steve is going to apologize to Brady. At some point, they're going to make themselves very present in their grandchild's life, and that the joy of her life, which is Joy, has come into some sort of agreement that she's going to be part of her life, dogs and all. And we never know anything about it. We don't get to see Brady have a baby, don't know how he's going to be as a parent. We don't know what's going to happen. There's no future. Subscribe to me because the show's over. But there's more coming. Not from this song. Not from this series. Again, maybe. Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. Tell me lies. Stay tuned. Ding dong, number one, Carrie. Okay, here we go. Carrie's first opening scene is that she has decided to stop off at a Asian restaurant. And I am just going to quickly go through this. She's never been there before. She sits down. We have a waiter that is trying to show her how to order on a tablet. And I've seen her use electronics before, so I don't know why she's acting like a ding dong. Oh, I'm sorry. Because it's a ding dong. And she orders what she needs to order. And the waitress comes by and places a huge doll in front of her because I guess customers that go there and are eating alone, they get a doll called Tommy Tomato. Okay. I'm just going to say this. I would like to know the name of that restaurant that's in New York City that does that. Now, don't be afraid. I'm not a violent person. I'm not. I just want to know the name because I want to stop by. I want to stop by. I want to know, does this really happen? And I'm going to go to that restaurant if I ever find out the name. And I want to sit down. And I want you to dare put that in front of me. I want to know. Again, not a violent person. But I'm going to gently, in my New York voice, tell you where you could put that Tommy Tomato disgusting thing up your ass. Because I have never heard of that. I don't know if it's in the news. I may have missed it that these restaurants are doing this. Have you heard about this? Because I did a quick search. I don't remember hearing about any of this. So this whole thing is set up because now we get into Carrie talking about, that's what she was talking about when she was talking to the for fashionista going to the bridal party, that she was telling them that she went to the restaurant and because she's not allowed to eat alone, she was subjected to this and she can't be alone. It's a tragedy to be alone in the 1846 book that she's in and here in the future as well. Oh, so I already know the theme. She goes into the bridal party. We know about happened with Seema, that she tells Seema that she's the pick-me girl. That's why she got married to Mr. Big, Mr. Big, Mr. Big. And why she didn't want to marry Aiden. And then she got back with Aiden. And then, she ruined that. The next thing we have after the bridal show, she's working with Charlotte in the middle of November. And well, no, not even, because usually it's around the end of November in New York City. And it looks mighty warm. There are no fall trees. There's green foliage. There's spring flowers. And it's the week before Thanksgiving. What, you didn't have money in the budget to put some freaking pumpkins out and some lights and put some foliage out there? I don't know where they are. It was so disturbing to me when I was looking at this. I was like, where are we again? What season is this? Is this spring? There's birds chirping. Birds chirping. Don't they fly south for the winter? I know it's fall, but my God. That doesn't look like New York at all in the fall. At all. And they're both dressed as if no care in the world. Okay. So Carrie is complaining to Charlotte yet again about her life, yet again, that, I love this one, that she has to accept the fact that she's alone and that she might be alone. And that after her husband Big, the one that has now popped in and out in the 22 years that she's been with Aiden, after he died, and she has, had to go through that pain and suffering for 3 episodes, that she thought maybe in the back of her mind, Aiden, I didn't hear it that way. I heard that right after Big died, or while he was dying, that in the back of her mind, Aiden. I swear I felt that I had to listen to this a few times, and that's how I took it. She goes, oh well, he's gone, maybe Aiden. And that didn't work out. And that Duncan, even though he told her that he's never going to come back, ever, one and done Duncan, who literally one and dunked her, she thought maybe he was a possibility. How? I have no clue. Because as no matter what I said, and people were fighting me, The writers who were gaslighting not just us, but her, the character, about how fabulous her book is, how amazing she is with writing. He literally won and dunked her and has left forever. He got what he wanted, and I guess it was just the taste, and he didn't like the taste. He was like, yeah, girl, let's check it out. This was great, but I'm leaving, and I'm not renewing the lease. So good luck with that, okay? Take care. I got what I needed. She actually thought that he was coming back because she's so amazing. He spent the entire freaking season telling her how amazing she is, and he had slept with her, and that was it. And I'm like, can anybody see how unbelievable and how horrible this writing was on this character? I'm talking about, excuse me, all of it. He used her and abused her. She blew up her relationship with Aiden, made him feel completely paranoid, though he was a maniacal, possible serial killer with the Manson family. I get that. All we get from Aiden is a hug, a hug, goodbye in the street, which is fitting, which is the bookend, because when we got introduced to Aiden again, it was a hug in the middle of the restaurant. Does everybody remember that? Oh. And then she leaves him, and we don't see him again until after she does her, maniacal witch scene where she's hugging him, and we don't ever hear about him again. She jumps into bed with Duncan, and he tells her he's not coming back. And then for some reason, she tells Charlotte, I just thought. You thought what? You big blonde ding dong. My God, you're 60 years old. You can't figure it out yet? And I say this to the writers. Why do you keep doing this? Who peed in your cornflakes? Who? You guys are horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. I don't even understand, because at least if there was another season to actually understand the best of this or the rest of this, no, this is how it ends. With a ding dong and a crap. I'm getting ranty. It's coming. It's coming. So I want to tell you to stay tuned. I'm going to cut this off again because I'm doing shorter clips so I can upload faster so I can get this out. But wait, there's more. So much more. So do me a favor. Subscribe. Stay tuned. So after she cries me a river to Charlotte about her 22-year relationship between Big and Aiden in the middle of the street in November with spring flowers and green foliage and no coats, jackets, sweaters, hats, nothing. Mm-hmm. The next scene we have, let me see. Oh, she's running around town with her Pie Palooza show. She picks up the pies. She's individually going to each home to deliver the pies because everybody should have been going to Miranda's, but I guess they all canceled. So I'm going to say she went to Anthony. She went to LTW's house, which I have to ask the viewers, have we ever seen Carrie in LTW's home? I don't remember that. She does invite her in, but because, Carrie's on a time frame here and she has a cab, she leaves. She goes to Anthony, LTW, Charlotte. I think that's it. I might be missing one more person. I don't remember who, because I don't care. 99% of the times when I don't remember something, it's just, I just don't care. Sorry. I don't give a crap. Mm-hmm. The next one, she goes to Miranda. So she gets to Miranda's house. She gives her the advice about Joy. She ends up alone with Brady, Ronald McDonald, the one we're going to kill. Then the door knocks, and it is Mamma Mia, baby mama, with Disney and Madonna. You'll know why when I get into the Madonna. If you saw the episode, you know what the hell I'm doing, right? Okay. She invites them in, and Disney, his name is Epcot, over because her parents were Disney fans, and they named her Epcot, and Madonna. And I don't remember the name because after the show, the dinner and the show that we get to see, I can't get over what I just saw. She puts him into the living room, and Brady comes out and says, "Hello, would you like a glass of wine?" And of course, Mamma Mia says no, she can't drink because she's pregnant, because the world revolves around her and doesn't think about her friends wanting to drink. Got it? And then she proceeds to tell Brady that she only eats brown rice, seaweed, and cucumbers. And since no one asked her, well, that's nice, but you do know you're going to a Thanksgiving house to eat Thanksgiving food. And because no one asked her what she eats, it's all on him, because he's like, well, I don't have any of that. First of all, this is the worst acting of someone. If this is her debut acting, I get that she's Ben Stiller's child. I get it. But you couldn't get any pointers from your dad? Horrible, horrible, horrible. And Brady is going off saying, well, I don't have any of that. And that all we have is a cheese platter from Carrie. Carrie says we have a cheese platter. Disney says that she's lactose intolerant. And okay, Brady is upset. And Carrie is trying to calm everybody down. The door knocks. Mark from the gallery decides to show up because he was invited from Charlotte. Okay. He comes into the room, very uncomfortable, because we don't know what we're seeing here. Brady, Mark from the Galleria is with Carrie in the kitchen. Brady comes in and says that he has to go out to buy said seaweed, cucumber, brown rice, because he's trying to appease Mamma Mia, which I thought was thoughtful, to please check on the turkey to make sure it doesn't burn. It's as if he doesn't know who he's talking to. This is a woman who only uses her oven for shoes. Let's start with that. He leaves. Mark is trying to flirt with Carrie, because everybody tries to flirt with Carrie. And she's wondering, when is this turkey going to be done? Does it look done? And gallery guy says, I don't know, it looks done. It's brown. So I just want to ask something. Does anybody know how to Google something? How to know when a turkey is done? Isn't there like a whole hotline, like the Butterball hotline, turkey line? I guess Butterball couldn't pay for a sponsorship, so I've seen her use a phone. I've seen her. Well, we don't really. Well, it makes sense because she doesn't research anything. So why would she actually look up how to check when a turkey is done? It's a simple, especially on Thanksgiving. It's like the first thing that pops up when you Google search. Can you please? Can you show me when Smart Carrie is here? If you're so freaking smart, you can't figure out how to figure this out. It's like it just pissed me the hell off. Oh my God. So the door knocks again. This time it's Charlotte. So she asks Mark to take care of the turkey. He puts it on whatever he's doing. And Charlotte comes in with her stuffing. And of course, she tells her that she's upset, brings her in. Charlotte forgot to disinvite Mark because, a penis got in the way. And she, oh boy, she takes Charlotte into the bedroom and tells her, why are you trying to hook me up with Mark? He's been married 3 times. And Charlotte was like, well, because when we were talking, it made me so sad that you felt like there was going to be no man in your life. And I just wanted to tell you, oh, I thought you had a connection. I'm like, I didn't see the connection, and neither did Carrie. And that the fact that the matter is, you're not alone, and that he has a plane. So that makes a couple of idiots, but it's still a couple. So that's the reason why she's trying to hook her up with Mark, because he has a plane. The plane, the plane, the plane. That's good reason enough for me. She married big for less. Go for it. You don't want to be alone? There you go. You got a man who's willing to marry because he's been married 3 times. You may not be attracted to him, but just put a bag over it. Put a bag over it, baby. Ride that pony. Put a bag over it. I'm not saying that most what people do, but I'm saying it's an option. Weigh your options, Carrie. Weigh your options. Oh my God. Okay. I'm doing that because I'm thirsty, I'm tired, and oh my God, this show could not get any worse. But yes, it can. So stay tuned, because there's more. Oh my God, stay tuned. Now that Charlotte is out of the way and that's her last real group outing with the team, other than her family, the next thing that happens is that Miranda does come back from being there for Joy and the dog. She walks into the room and there is the gallery man, Mamma Mia, Disney, and we have Madonna voguing, giving a dinner and a show. Well, pre-dinner, because there's no dinner yet. So we have Disney, who is lactose intolerant, eating the cheese platter. We have Mamma Mia, who only eats brown rice, seaweed, and cucumbers, eating the cheese. We have Madonna voguing and waiting for any kind of food because it's, very hard to vogue and not eat. We have Mark just standing there praying for someone to kill him. We have Mamma Mia wearing an outfit, and all I can see is the run in her stocking. And then I kept thinking, why are you wearing stockings when you're that big? Fashion choice from the fashion department of this shitty show, 100%. Brady comes out. Well, I'm sorry. Miranda is trying to introduce herself to the Broadway shows, cast and crew. And she finds out that lactose intolerant Disney has to use the bathroom. Great. That will come up much, much later, though I'm not going to touch upon him very much. Brady comes out. He's upset because he sees Mama Mia eating cheese, though she said she doesn't eat cheese. And he's like, well, what the hell did I run around to get brown rice, seaweed, and cucumbers for you? Oh, and he also states that the turkey is raw. And the only way it can be fixed is that if we have another 2 hours, because the shock and awe between the 2 non-cooks who do not know how to Google how to check a tub and turn a turkey. We're like, oh, really? But why? Because even if you don't know how to cook, you do know how to read, don't you? Please. You don't know how to write, but you know how to read. So the turkey's dead, still. He gets upset because Mia is eating cheese, though she says she doesn't because she forgets that she's pregnant and whatever the hell the baby wants, the baby wants. And he starts to get upset with his mom. Something ensues where he kind of tells Mia off. Mia tells him off. Miranda tries to calm everybody down, and then Brady tries to tell his mom off by saying that she's crazy. We're going back to I would have smacked the shit out of you right there. Oh my God, he was so close. And Mia actually defends Miranda. Like, you shouldn't talk to your mother that way. Well, finally. At least I know she has some sense and she will beat the crap out of her child when he tries to talk back. Or she, whatever it is, because we never know. We never find out. We never find out. Great. Dear God. So the next thing we have is that everybody left, but the food is being eaten. I don't know what food. I know pie and seaweed and brown rice, I guess. Mark is still there. Miranda and Carrie are speaking, and Carrie is afraid that she's going to have to go home with the guy in the bathroom who has a plane because of Charlotte. Mm-hmm. And the rest of it, I really don't want to tell you. I'm just going to tell you briefly. Crap comes up the toilet from whatever happened from the lactose intolerant guy. I really want to throw up when I talk about this. It was so disgusting. Oh my God. This is the writers of what is the name of that magazine? Mad Magazine. Fart jokes, toilet jokes, shit jokes. It's like, Michael Patrick, this is what you bring us? This is what you want to tell us to your fans? That we're shit? And talk about literal and just like crap. You couldn't coin this phrase ever more. All of a sudden he runs out. Miranda is stuck cleaning the shit, literally. Okay, which is so disgusting. I give her so much credit. I would have been vomiting everywhere. I would have called the emergency services, if anything. I would have run out of there like a fucking, like a maniac. I gotta get this taste out of my mouth. It's disgusting. Oh my God. This shit just pissed me off so much. Because this is how you end it. Suddenly Joyce shows up. I told you that. They reconnect. She tells her that, she was there for her, so she's coming to be there for her. Carrie has the presence of mind to leave, to go home. She takes one of the pies. So we see Carrie at home, and when she comes in, she normally now take off her heels. Again, November, New York. She's not even wearing boots. And I don't know what Christmas ornament she's decided to be in, but that outfit was just horrendous. I'm sorry, it just was not right. Maybe for Christmas, as a Christmas tree, on the tree, but I've seen her in this ensemble before. The freaking furry skirt and all that other crap. That top was ill-fitting. They didn't even try. But to put her in heels again, running around in November, okay. She doesn't take off her shoes because she remembers she doesn't have anybody to take off her shoes for because Duncan's gone. He left forever and never coming back. Remember? The one that probably is not in her book. All of a sudden, she goes and she miraculously knows how to work technology because she goes to the karaoke machine that was left for her and she puts on one of the Barry White songs, You're My Everything, which for the estate of Barry White, I would have been calling them and be like, how much are you paying me to be on this show? I'm just checking. It better be a lot because you got to pay for the songs, right? And she's prancing around her house as we go into the different montages of, I guess, the endings that I already explained. Anthony, LTW, SEMA, all that stuff. At the end, this is pretty much what happens. Carrie is going around her house and she takes the pie and instead of cutting a piece, she spoons the filling. I don't know why that annoyed me, but it does. And then we just have her, cat's here, the shoe's here. I tell you, I have been with a lot of cats and this cat does not love Carrie. Most cats are jumping all over you. I don't know if anybody else has a cat like that, but okay. And we see her going upstairs and she's sitting in front of her window redoing her epilogue, and she says that the woman found out that she's not alone, that she's on her own. So I cried at this yesterday because I was very much in pain and I was just thinking about what my life and stuff like that. I'm not crying now because I have had enough time to absorb the impact of this stupidity. And that's it. And we see her dancing. It ended with a toilet bowl of crap and an epilogue that she's on her own, and that she's dancing around in her heels in her mansion with her shoes. Literally shoes and the cat the shoe. Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. Tell me lies. Okay, you ready for my epilogue? I'm going to try to make it as good as last week because I got a little bit more to say to the rest of the crew. So, stay tuned. Epilogue. I told you that there was going to be no real ending. This show was not intended to end. Though Michael Patrick King, I've read in numerous places that he wanted to leave this open-ended and open to interpretation. So I'm going to say this as nicely as possible. Then why did you start this show? This was supposed to be an introduction to the next stage of life. I was perfectly fine with the movie number 2. It was a crap movie, but it tailed end a lot of storylines, and it still had Samantha. We pretty much saw what happened with Big and Carrie, with her childlessness about wanting to be out in the streets and hanging out, and he just wanted to be on the couch, and she almost had an affair with Aiden, which at that point didn't almost ruin the character. And then she come back and she tells Big, and Big, gives her a ring, because that's what happens normally. And I was okay with that. We didn't need to go any further if that's what you were going to do. We saw Samantha finally getting her groove on again. I was happy with that. Charlotte, husband, was not having an affair with the Irish breast lady. Great. I was okay with that. Miranda was still with Steve. Is the movie number 2 when they broke up? I want to say yes. I haven't seen it in a long time. When he had the affair, they broke up and then they got back together? Yeah. Yeah, because the movie number 1 was focused on the wedding. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I was happy with that. Why go into this series at all if this is how you intended to leave it? Open-ended to interpretation. Why? First of all, this doesn't make any sense. Why would you give the possibility of a grandchild coming into Steve and Miranda and not giving us the ability to see Brady as a parent? That's the one that really disturbed me the most. Because we grew up with these characters. How we grew up with Brady. Now all of a sudden you expect me to believe that Carrie is going to be happy being alone, running around her house with her cat and a shoe? With no mans? And that her biggest claim to fame is a one-night stand with a guy in London? And she messed up Aiden? And she's just there's no moving forward from this at all? You really intended to do this? You should be really like, let me tell you something. Let me tell you who the real hero is. Whoever was in HBO that decided that enough is enough. You're the hero. You're the one that should get the corner office if you don't have one already. You're the one who should be taking a long vacation paid by everybody. Because somebody put a stop to the bleeding, to the show. Because somebody must have recognized that this is going nowhere fast. And the fact that they allowed even the crap scene from the toilet be existing, it goes to the whole point of, Michael, you don't know how to write. None of you writers know how to write. An open-ended storyline for characters that we have been with for almost 30 years? What is your problem, bro? You shitted on us. And everybody that's been watching and telling you, please stop. It would have taken a real person to take a look at the show and be like, you know what? Let's come back next season better. But no, they got canceled. And I can't believe that even before they knew they got canceled, they were delivering this as part of an episode. I don't believe it. I kind of believe that SJP is shopping this around because she wants a movie. And let me tell you something. SJP, Nixon, and Kristen, do yourself a favor. If you're not going to be involved in this at all, if you try to help get this movie on or shop it to another network, if you're not going to take a step back and recognize what the hell you just put yourself into and make a real effort to make some huge changes, then don't bother at all. Let it be. This series is going to go into the Film Hall of Fame of how not to reboot an IP, how not to disturb the characters and the fans. Worst ending ever. And I put it up there with the Seinfeld ending and the Sopranos ending. And both of those shows were a hell of a lot better. They just ended really, really badly. I'm sure there's other ones, but this was not worth our time. You have no direction. You gave no direction. You gave no heart. I don't give a shit if she's running around her house with her tutu. It's stupid. We were happy with the second movie. If we were looking forward to this to say, hey, okay, so we've passed that. So let's see where they are now. You killed off Big, which again, I understand that the actor was the Me Too movement and everything else that's happening. Fine. Like I said before, sure. But nothing in this show resonated with anybody. You make these LGBT characters into caricatures. What is this? What is that? Who does that? Why do you have to make them so extreme and so uncomfortable? Can't you represent people in real time? Michael, I think you need to get your head checked. You need a checkup from the neck up. Because if you actually think that any of this was good with your showrunners, dude, whatever you're smoking, either lay off of it or share it with the rest of us so we can see your vision. Because this was not a visionary kind of statement. This was and you know what? Right back at you, bro. You, the cast, not the crew, the showrunners. Really, I want you to sit on it too. Because I cannot believe what you did. And nobody else does. And you will be forever memorialized for killing an IP show with characters. That's your legacy. SJP, you too. I don't know how you're going to come back from this. Because nobody gives a shit. So, thank you. Thank you for closing this chapter out. Thank you for giving us something not to look forward to or ever rewatch ever again. It was a waste of our time, a waste of our brain cells, and you should hide. Just go away. Bye-bye. Bye. Okay. Ending of my epilogue. So, the votes are in. Last video, I asked if we wanted to rediscover or reevaluate the original series. And I said, if I get 200 likes and 300 yes in my comments, 30 go for it in my comments and 200 likes. I surpassed both. So we're doing it. And I've already started rewatching it. And wow. When you tie it in and you look at it from the perspective of what happened and really what was going on, and you open your mind a little bit of how much older you are now, it has changed a lot for me. And I cannot wait to start this with you and go through the series. So I'm getting myself pumped. It's coming out. I'm going to start it hopefully either next week or the week before. I may have to take a week off because I'm trying to, if my back pain, I'm going to have to keep trying to pack. So it is what it is. We're here, people. Stay tuned. I got one more epilogue to do. I just try to cut off before it gets too long. So to end this epilogue, so it's going to happen. I'm structuring in my mind how we're going to rewatch the original series together. I'm shocked. I hope that you guys enjoy it. Let's try to get through this as I pivot into other shows. You know what I find interesting about this whole thing with Michael Patrick King, and I have to go back to this for a second because I wanted to mention this before. It's like the whole show and the showrunners try to introduce new concepts that have been existing for a long time, and they try to do it in a way that makes no sense. You know, we've done the gay characters, like I told you, on screen. They didn't do anything important to change that at all. If not, they made it worse. You know, they didn't take into consideration any kind of arc for anyone. You know, they just stuffed in whatever they could as if they were just trying to get rid of everything. Like, I don't know. I don't know what they were doing. And it's very, very frustrating when I think back at this. And when I'm looking at Sex and the City, the original series, I'm like, at the very minimum, it was a beginning, a middle, and an end. This was just the end of the beginning. That's what I'm going to tell you. So let's get into this. What am I watching now? Well, at least I know the Superman, the movie, is already starting to stream. That show and movie from James Gunn apparently is, available now on streaming, which will be faster than the book of LTW or her documentary. Ironically, they were able to not only make the movie, put out the movie, and now the movie is available streaming, and we're still waiting for LTW's documentary, so that's never going to happen. She should have worked with James Gunn to get the shit done. Like the rhyming there? Mm-hmm. I haven't decided if I want to watch it because I do have HBO, and it's eventually going to go from Prime Video to HBO in about another 6 weeks. And the rental cost is like $23. In the grander scheme of things, it's much cheaper here than going to the movies. But I haven't decided. Let me know if you guys watch Superman at all. And let me know if it's worth even me watching. Because I am a DC girl. I just, my funds are limited. What else? I told you about my MRI. I told you about my 4 herniated discs. I will give you an update next month once I find out what I have to get done. Hopefully it's not surgery. I want to thank you all for being so kind and asking and, giving me well wishes, first of all. Second of all your thanks, all your super thanks, all your love, all your comments. I read them all. You guys make me happy. You make me laugh. Keep it respectful as always. I'm going to cry because I love you. You have given me, throughout all the pain that I've been going through, so much support and love that it makes me want to keep doing these. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you feel how I feel. And let's look forward to doing the original series together so we can try to wrap up this debacle. And I want to wish you all a beautiful, beautiful, blessed day. And I'm emotional because it hits me in the pain that I'm in and what I have to look forward to. But I'm not alone. I'm not on my own. Despite what this show tries to tell you, I have love in my life. I have a family that cares for me. And my son already is like, Mom, whatever you need, I'm going to be here. Even if I have to go through surgery. So, a beautiful, beautiful, blessed day. See you either next week or the week after so we can get through the first season of Sex and the City, the original. Take care. Goodbye.